You ever do push-ups until you vomit blood? I did, because if I stopped, the system would kill me. It started like any other day, except it wasn't. A blue screen, like something out of a video game, hung in the air right in front of me. Daily quest, the preparation to become strong. It gave me a list, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run. Failure to complete it meant a penalty. I laughed at first. A penalty? What could a floating screen possibly do to me? I learned the hard way. The moment I dismissed it, the ground beneath me vanished. I was in a desert, a vast, empty wasteland under a scorching sun. And then, giant centipedes, monsters straight out of a nightmare, erupted from the sand. I ran. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs gave out. I screamed, I cried, I begged. This wasn't a game. This was real. The penalty quest timer ticked down, and I knew with chilling certainty that if it hit 0, I would die here, torn apart by monsters, forgotten by the world. I survived, barely. The timer ran out just as I managed to get out of the designated penalty zone. The lesson was seared into my soul. Disobey the system, and you will suffer. Disobey, and you will die. So, the next day, when the quest window popped up again, I didn't hesitate. I started with push-ups. 1, 2, my arms, weak and useless after years of being the world's weakest hunter, trembled. 10. The muscles screamed. 20. My body felt like it was being ripped apart. Sweat poured into my eyes, stinging. By 50, my vision was blurring, but the image of those desert centipedes was burned into my mind. I couldn't stop. I wouldn't stop. Then came the squats. My legs were already jelly, but I forced them down, again and again. Each repetition was a battle against my own body's limits. I could feel the microscopic tears in my muscles, the sheer agony of pushing past the breaking point. The sit-ups were no better. My core felt like it was on fire. I remember gasping for air, my vision going dark around the edges. I coughed, and the taste of iron filled my mouth. Blood. I was literally coughing up blood from the strain. But the penalty timer was still ticking. That ghostly blue clock hanging in the air was my executioner, and I had to outrun it. The final task, the 10-kilometer run. I stumbled out into the night. The cold air shocked to my overheated body. Rain began to fall, plastering my hair to my forehead, mixing with the sweat and tears streaming down my face. My legs felt like lead. Every step was a new mountain of pain. My lungs heaved, desperate for oxygen that wasn't there. People on the street probably thought I was insane, a madman running himself to death in the rain. They had no idea how right they were. I was running for my life. I collapsed more times than I can count. My knees were scraped raw, my hands bloody from pushing myself up off the rough pavement. At one point, I just lay there on the wet ground, the rain washing over me. And I thought about giving up. It would be so easy. Just let the timer run out. Let the penalty take me. Maybe it would be less painful than this. But then, I thought about my mom in the hospital. I thought about my little sister. I thought about the humiliation, the pity in everyone's eyes when they looked at me. The E-rank hunter who was a liability to everyone. Was this how I wanted to go out? Weak, pathetic, giving up. No. A fire ignited in my chest, a spark of defiance I hadn't felt in years. I got up. I clenched my bloodied hands into fists. I put one foot in front of the other. The pain was still there, a roaring inferno. But it was different now. It wasn't just pain anymore. It was fuel. I focused on the sound of my own ragged breathing, the squelch of my shoes on the pavement, the relentless ticking of the quest timer. That was my world now. Pain and the clock. Finally, with seconds to spare, I stumbled back to my neighborhood, collapsing just as I completed the final meter. A new window appeared. Daily quest, complete. And then, 3 more boxes. Reward 1, status recovery. Reward 2, stat points. Reward 3, a random box. As I lay there, gasping on the ground, a warm, golden light washed over me. The pain vanished. The exhaustion melted away. The cuts and scrapes on my hands and knees healed before my very eyes. My body, which moments ago felt like a broken wreck, was now buzzing with a strange energy. I pushed myself up, not with trembling arms, but with a newfound firmness. I looked at my hands. They were clean, whole. The weakness was gone. When I felt that strength flow through my body for the first time, I realized, this quest, this system from hell, it was also my only hope. It was a chance to change. I was no longer the weakest hunter alive. This was just the beginning. Thank you so much for joining me on this part of the journey. If you felt that struggle and that spark of change, Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. The climb is only just starting.